Almost everything you have heard about the 144,000 may begin with a mistake. What if the biggest debate about this passage is focused on the one thing John wants you to look past? What if the number itself is not the point? For centuries, Christians have argued over who the 144,000 are. A literal number? A future group of Jewish evangelists? A special class of believers? But John does something in Revelation 7 that he does repeatedly throughout the book. He tells you one thing, then he shows you another. And if you miss that pattern, you may miss the entire vision. Today, we're going to examine one of the most controversial numbers in the Bible, discover a literary technique hidden in plain sight, and uncover why Revelation 7 may be answering a question far bigger than who are the 144,000. It's answering the terrifying question left hanging at the end of chapter 6. When the world collapses, who can stand? If you're joining us for the first time, this is Bible Depths, a verse-by-verse journey through Revelation without sensationalism, without fear, and without skipping the difficult passages. Subscribe and turn on notifications because episode 7 may contain one of the most dramatic scenes in the entire book, the seventh seal and the silence in heaven. Now, let's return to the question chapter 6 left unanswered. Who can stand? Chapter 6 ended with kings hiding in caves, generals terrified, the wealthy and the powerful begging mountains to fall on them. The great day of judgment had arrived, and then Revelation asks a question: who can stand? Chapter 7 exists to answer that question, and the answer comes in two visions. At first, they seem completely different, but by the end of chapter 7, many scholars believe they are describing the same people from two different perspectives. Once you see it, Revelation 7 becomes one of the most beautiful chapters in the entire book. Revelation 7, 1-8. John hears a number before he sees anyone: 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. At first glance, this sounds like a census, a list, a head count. But notice how carefully the number is constructed. 12 tribes, 12,000 each, 144,000. This isn't random mathematics, this is symbolic architecture. Every number has been carefully chosen. 12, throughout Scripture, represents the people of God. 12 tribes, 12 apostles, the Old Covenant and the New Covenant brought together. Then comes 1,000. In biblical literature, 1,000 often signifies fullness, completeness, vastness beyond ordinary counting. Then 12 is squared, 12 times 12. The people of God multiplied to perfection. The result isn't a statistic, it's a theological declaration. Nothing is missing. No one whom God intends to seal is overlooked. The people of God are complete, entire, fully known, fully gathered. And then something strange happens. The list of tribes isn't normal. If John intended this as a literal census, we immediately have a problem. The tribal list does not match any tribal list found in the Old Testament. Some tribes are missing, others appear unexpectedly. The ordering is unusual. The details are symbolic rather than genealogical. John is painting a picture, not filling out a spreadsheet. The emphasis is theological, not demographic. There's another clue. The entire scene resembles an ancient military census. Before battle, armies were counted, organized, numbered, prepared. John hears the people of God being assembled like an army, not because they will conquer through violence, but because they are prepared to remain faithful. The question isn't how many are there. The question is, who is able to stand? And the answer, the sealed people of God. And before we continue, notice where chapter 7 appears. The seventh seal has opened, the seventh has not. The story suddenly pauses. This technique appears throughout biblical literature. The action stops, the camera pulls back, the audience is given a wider perspective. The question from chapter 6 is allowed to breathe, and chapter 7 answers it before the story moves forward. The seals are not interrupted accidentally. The interruption is the point. John wants us to understand who survives before he shows us what happens next. The second vision is where everything changes, and it may completely reshape how you read the 144,000. If you're finding this study helpful, subscribe to Bible Depths. We're building an entire Revelation series chapter by chapter, and next week's episode covers the seventh seal, the trumpets, and one of the most mysterious silences in Scripture. Now, watch what happens when John turns and looks. Revelation 7:9. After this I looked, and behold, a great multitude that no one could count. Stop there, because this is the moment many readers rush past. John heard a number, 144,000. Then he looked and saw something else, a multitude no one could count. Think about that. The first vision is numbered, the second is innumerable. The first sounds like an army, the second looks like a worship service. The first is Israel, the second is every nation. The contrast is so dramatic that many assume these must be two different groups. But Revelation repeatedly uses a pattern that works exactly like this. John hears one thing, then sees another, and the seeing explains the hearing. We'll encounter this pattern again in chapter 5. John hears about the Lion of Judah, a conquering king, a warrior, a victor. But when he turns to look, he sees a lamb, slaughtered, bleeding, sacrificial. The lion and the lamb are not two different beings. They are the same reality seen from different angles. Many scholars believe the same pattern is happening here. John hears the symbolic army of God, then sees what that army actually looks like, a countless international family gathered around the throne. And suddenly every boundary disappears. Nationality, language, ethnicity, geography, history, all of it. People from every nation, every tribe, every people, every language standing together. Not divided by flags, not separated by cultures, united by worship. Imagine the scene. Millions upon millions stretching beyond the horizon. Every accent, every skin color, every culture, every century, every generation, all gathered around one throne, one lamb, one salvation. This is not merely diversity, this is redemption accomplishing what humanity never could. And notice what they're doing. They're standing. The exact question from chapter 6 has now been answered. Who can stand? These people can. Not because they are stronger, not because they are smarter, not because they escaped suffering. They stand because they have been clothed in white. Their righteousness is received, not achieved. Their victory is given, not earned. Their standing is entirely the gift of the Lamb. One of the elders explains who they are. These are the ones coming out of the Great Tribulation. Many readers immediately think of a future 7-year period, but John's language is broader. The phrase simply means great affliction, great pressure, great suffering. The kind of suffering Christians have experienced in every generation. The first-century believer facing persecution, the imprisoned believer, the grieving believer, the faithful believer who suffered and endured. This multitude spans centuries. It stretches across history, and every one of them has the same testimony. They were sustained by the Lamb. Then Revelation gives one of the most breathtaking promises in all Scripture. They will hunger no more, thirst no more. The sun will not strike them. The Lamb will shepherd them. The Lamb becomes the shepherd. The sacrifice becomes the guide. The slain one becomes the protector, and God Himself wipes away every tear. Not merely ending pain, personally removing it. The final image of chapter 7 is not judgment, it's comfort. Not terror, but restoration. So who are the 144,000? The answer may be far bigger than a number. John hears the complete people of God. Then he sees them, countless, global, victorious, standing before the throne. The question was never really how many. The question was, who can stand? And Revelation's answer is simple. The people sealed by God. The people redeemed by the Lamb. The people drawn from every nation under heaven. The complete people of God. And the final thing they hear is not condemnation. It's the voice of God wiping away every tear. Tell me in the comments, what interpretation of the 144,000 were you taught growing up? And after reading Revelation 7 in context, has your perspective changed? Next episode, the seventh seal opens, heaven falls silent, the trumpets prepare to sound, and Revelation enters one of its most dramatic chapters. Subscribe to Bible Depths, and I'll see you in episode 7.